So, hello everybody. Today we are playing Lord of the Rings, the card game by Fantasy Flight Games. It's just, you know, that you have the logo as well. This is the base game. I am going to do a blind playthrough. Blind meaning I haven't played the game before. Well, that's kind of true, but I did play it once just now. I gave it a brief, you know, run through. Well, I tried. I used, basically you have different types of influence spheres. You have the law sphere, spirit sphere, tactics sphere, and I forget the last one. That is the leadership sphere. And you get heroes from these spheres. And if you want to play cards in the game from your hand or use them and buy them, you have to have heroes that actually have that particular sphere. So each sphere comes in a base set with 3 heroes. And I watched somebody and they said that you should never play with the tactics sphere because it's too difficult. So I thought, okay, well, you know, if tactics is too difficult, let's take the... And I chose this randomly, and I ended up with the spirit sphere, which turned out to be a total disaster. Although the threat that you start out with when you use the 3 heroes from the base set that are spirit heroes is very low. I ended up with 2 Beastmasters in the staging area and 2 more enemies, and they basically then all came tumbling down because at some point, yes, I was at 35, and the problem was that they all attacked. And in the sphere of, in the spirit sphere, there isn't a single weapon card in the base set. So these guys are pretty weak. There isn't a single cancel any attack cards. There are no shields, there's no armor. So basically, once the enemies close in on you, you're screwed. So then I decided, okay, to do this slightly differently and to mix the spheres. So I've got 1 person from Spirit, that's Eowyn, and 2 people from the law sphere, that is Glorfindel and what's her name? Bedivere. Bedivere is a Dunedain ranger, and you can exhaust her to choose a player. That player draws 2 cards. Glorfindel can pay 1 resource from his pool to heal 1 damage from any character. And Eowyn, you can discard 1 card from your hand to give Eowyn a +1 in the... and this is a good question, what is that capacity called? It's the, let's call it the mind. So you have a mind, attack and defense values. So let's call this the mind. The scenario that I'm playing is flies and spiders. It's supposed to be the easiest one. Well, you know, if you're playing only with spirit and you have really crappy card draws, because what also happened to me was I got a card from the deck and it actually made me discard all events. And so basically I had from then on out just 1 particular card because everything had been discarded. My whole hand was full of events, all of the events went. So I had an empty hand, and then this is something that's different, for example, to a game like Alien, where you actually then draw back up to your hand. You don't. Once your hand is exhausted for whatever reason, once everything has been thrown into the discard pile, that's it. You just get 1 card per round. So we are now in the Old Forest. We have the job to carry an urgent message from King Thranduil to Lady Galadriel of Lorien. So King Thranduil, for those of you who are Lord of the Rings fans, is of course the father of Legolas. The travel happens through Mirkwood Forest. That's very well known from The Hobbit. That's where all of the spiders reside. That's where this important and very funny Attercop scene is set. I have Glorfindel, Bedivere and Eowyn. Between the 3 they have 7, 9 mind points. At the moment The threat in the staging area is a forest spider and the old forest road. You get those from the setup. So basically the threat is 3. I will now put everyone onto the quest. Well, first of all, we'll check if we want to buy something. Everybody has their resources. The starting threat is 31 with these 3 heroes, and we'll see what we do. We've got a couple of events. We've got an ally Gandalf. He's too expensive with 5. We have a Northern Tracker, Dunedain Ranger. After Northern Tracker commits to a quest, place 1 progress token on each location. That's really brilliant. Now what we have to watch is we can only buy spirit cards from Eowyn's pool, and we can only buy lore cards, lore cards from the combined pools of Glorfindel and Beravor. Except for Gandalf, he's a neutral card, and he's apparently the only neutral card in the base game, as far as I can see. He can be bought with a combination from everybody. So, and I don't think that my deck is really balanced, because I think I've got more spirit cards and lore cards. I mean, deck building in and of itself is quite difficult, and of course, this is in a way the business model that Fantasy Flight Games have. The base model, the base game has pretty crappy cards, you know. So you are supposed to buy more and more adventure packs that come with additional cards. So let's see how far we get. We'll probably lose horribly in about 5 rounds, but hey, it's a game after all, and yeah, they will all return. In order to get through this deck of scenario cards, we have to explore them, and you have like the Flies and Spiders scenario, Passage Through Mirkwood, and it requires 8 progress tokens. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be counting the first of all, we're not going to make any we're not going to make any contributions from the no, we're not going to do anything like that. So we'll just basically go for the quest phase. We're going to commit everybody, so I'm going to take a risk. If we get a low monster that attacks, then we have a problem. So we have 4, 6, 9 against a threat of 3, 5, 6. So that gives us 3 points that we put against the Flies and Spiders. And now we're going to travel, and we're going to travel to the forest road, the old forest road, which allows us to ready 1 hero. And we are going to ready Beravor, no, actually we're going to ready, yeah, we're going to ready Beravor. Oh yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, because the forest spider is going to attack. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was stupid of me, because I overlooked its threat, which is 25. Yeah, okay, well, it's threat trigger, if you like. Okay, so basically we're gonna yeah, we're going to leave it like this. Next up, engage, and the forest spider is going to engage Beravor, and we will leave it undefended. We're going to take that risk. We're going to draw a shadow card, we're going to turn it over, and it's a Beastmaster, but it doesn't have a shadow effect, which is really cool, so we'll just discard this card. Beastmasters are nasty. I do not really like them at all. So, okay, the Beastmaster's gone. So now the forest spider is going to attack LotR. It has a 2 attack value +1, and she has a 2 defense value, so she's going to take 1 wound, and she's going to reply in kind. She's going to attack the forest spider for 2 -1, and because the forest spider has a kind of, well, natural armor, I guess, and she gets 1 wound as well. So this is now the end of the round. The track, the doom track goes up by 1. So now it's at 32. So Ungoliant's spawn is going to attack next round. So we're going to ready everybody. The forest spider is already engaged. We're going to get resources for everybody. 1, 2, 3. We're going to draw a card. Radagast's Cunning. Quest action. Choose 1 enemy in the staging area. Until the end of that phase, that enemy does not contribute its threat. It's interesting. Let's see. At the moment, the threat is at 5 for the quest. We can reduce this to 2. Yes. All right. This is what we're going to be doing. We are going to buy Radagast's Cunning. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to commit Eowyn to the quest. She adds 4 points. In order to get her an additional point, we're going to discard this card from our hand, which gives her 5. Then, LotR is going to pay 1 resource to buy the Radagast card. And we're going to attach it, or we're going to use this event to negate Ungoliant's spawn's threat, which is 3. So at the moment, we have a threat level of 2. We're facing that threat level of 2 with 5 threat counter actions on our side, whatever you want to call it, 5 mind points. So we're going to now draw another card, and it's the Mountains of Mirkwood, which is basically just 2. So we have 4 as opposed to 5. So we get 1 token, 1 progress token, which we're going to put on the Old Forest Road. That's the quest phase over. So Radagast's Cunning's card goes away. Then we are going to buy the Forest Snare. And we're going to bind the forest spider with it, which makes it impossible for the forest spider to attack, which is really cool. So this one is bound. And next, what happens is that Ungoliant's spawn will attack, and she is going to attack Glorfindel. Beravor is going to defend, so the attack is not undefended. We're going to draw a shadow card, turn it over, and the shadow effect is, it's a king spider. The shadow effect reads, defending player must choose and exhaust one character he controls, 2 characters instead of it if this attack is undefended. Oh god. So we choose Glorfindel, which means he can't attack. And Ungoliant is gonna attack with 5, and she's gonna attack Beravor, Glorfindel, and she's gonna do 4 damage. She is nasty. Okay, this is tough. This is really tough. I think it would have been better if, no, it wouldn't have been, because yeah, then she would be dead. Yeah, so as you can see, this is really hard. This game is really hard. So that's the end of the round. So now we're going to up the threat. We're gonna refresh our heroes. I think we're gonna put the staging area over here, because this has to be the attack area because we don't have that much space. Okay, so we're gonna get resources 1, 2, 3. I could have bought this card. I didn't. Another forest snare. We don't have enough money to buy it. That sucks. Yeah, okay, I made a mistake again. I could have used one of Eowyn's resources to buy the hasty stroke, which would have cancelled the shadow effect, which would have meant that Glorfindel would have at least have been able to fight back and hit her for 1. It would only have been 1, but still would have been 1. Okay. As you can see, it's really important to keep an eye on what you have. So we can't buy the ally because we don't have 4, but we might be able to buy him next time round. Yeah. I think we'll be dead at the end of this round. Yeah, when I look at the moment, the threat level is at 7. Yeah, we're not gonna, yeah, 7. No, we're going to do something entirely different. We're going to buy Gandalf as an ally for 5. We can combine resources from all heroes, although they are from different spheres, because Gandalf's card is sphere-less. At the end of the round, discard Gandalf from play. So basically you can only use him 1 round. After Gandalf enters play, choose 1. Either draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to 1 enemy in play, or reduce your threat by 5. We're going to deal 4 damage to Ungoliant's spawn. 4. And we will discard him straight away because he's just going to confuse me otherwise. Now, let's look at the... Will we quest? No, we will... Okay, well, let's see. At the moment, the level is 5, 6, 7. Five, 6, 7. So we would add this. So this would, Well, this one is not going to attack. This one is. And we need to defend and attack. So we're going to just exhaust. We're going to send Lady Eowyn questing. She doesn't have any money anyways. We're going to discard this one. So she gets 5. Gonna add this to the... it's a treachery card. Oh god. Deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. Okay, that's not too bad because she's got 3 and she is the only one that's exhausted. Okay, so that's good. So now she has 5 and we have 5, 7. So at least the threat only goes up by 2. Yeah, what you really need is you need to get allies early on. So the forest spider isn't attacking or can't attack because it's been trapped. So now it's Ungoliant spawn. And we're going to defend with Glorfindel. And we reveal a card that doesn't have a shadow effect. That's good. So she will do... Yeah, well... She's just killed Beravor. Yeah. So basically, because she now is going to deal 3 damage to Beravor. And this brings her up to 4. So she's dead. So we could, in theory... go on and play, but there isn't very much point because with only 2 heroes we're not gonna make it. So as you can see, this game is really hard. I still don't understand why people would say you shouldn't use the tactics game, because really making an impact, because this, to me, this deck is this encounter is extremely combat oriented. None of them are good at fighting. There are no weapons in this deck. There are no there's no armor or shields or anything in this deck. So I think I will actually reset this game and I will play again, but this time I'll take the pure tactics deck no matter what people say, and I'll see how that works. So yeah, so this was my second foray into this. As you can see, it's a really tough game. Also, I think it is difficult to play in terms of you have to get used to it. You have to get used to what you're doing. And tactical choices are there, and they are plenty. So I think this is important to note. This is not... this is a hard game, even considering the things that you need to do. Or can do. I mean, I think when I compare it to, for example, Alien, Legendary Encounters Alien, that is a really good game where you get a lot of choices, but they are they're quite different from the choices that you get here. And it's easier, I think, to pick up. So I'll try this again, and I'll stop the camera now. And I'll set up again with the tactics deck, the Soul Tactics deck, and we'll see how that goes.